So FUD, what is a FUD?
We'll get into that, but what are we doing here, right? Hey, good afternoon.
Yay! Oh, you're right. You're right. I got to get ready for my no spin environment. I'm Roxane Webster.
And I'm Keith Alba. I'm a partner here at my home team, along with my partner Rox there.
And we are here.
Yeah, this is our honest hour, as we've been calling it for years. And it's the no spin zone. But as you can see, Rox does get at least one spin per recording. So
I get one spin for, and boy, is spin an appropriate conversation for today. Why did I start this thing with FUD?
Well, we were just chatting, Rox, and saying, okay, let's take a deep dive into this market. Let's see what's really going on with it and what's happening. And so we were talking about kind of some of the articles or the storylines that we're hearing out there, and it falls directly underneath what I would call FUD. FUD comes from the brokerage world, stocks, bonds, things along those lines. And it stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And what ends up happening is there's people that take an interest in a stock, let's say, and bet on the fact that it's going to go down. Well, to assist that, they put out what they would refer to as a hit piece. And it's attacking that company, pointing out all the flaws, just really the intention is to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And when they accomplish that, there's a big sell-off of that stock. People are believing what they're reading, and that drives the price of that stock down. And now all of a sudden that bet that the person took in regards to the stock going down has paid off for them. And
how is that not securities fraud? Just saying.
Because they hire somebody else to do the article, right? So it's not me putting out this FUD. It's somebody else that's doing it on my behalf, and I may have paid them or hired them to author that.
But if I hire somebody to hit my ex-husband,
that's going to be a problem. Yeah, that's
right?
True.
Right.
That's
Luckily,
true.
I only have one husband, and he's not an ex. Nor would I hit him. Right.
Or hire a hit man for him.
And that's such an interesting idea, right? And at the same time, I think that fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we're seeing in the real estate market, because there's no doubt. I mean, we're seeing it all over the place, right? And we've got numbers to support it, and you're reading it all, and right, the sky is falling. But I think that fear, uncertainty, and doubt right now is as much a function of an inexperienced realtor force as any malfeasant intent.
Yeah. Well, I think that's definitely a period, right? We've seen massive growth in the number of licensees across the nation, and in Denver and Colorado specifically, that's there. So there's a lot of real estate agents out there that haven't experienced anything other than a crazy seller's market, where, you did the 3 Ps, right? You put sign in the yard, you put it on the MLS, and you didn't even need really that third one. The prayer wasn't even.
You didn't need to pray, right?
Yeah.
You could do you didn't even have to do a Sundance. I mean, literally. And I remember this in 2004 and 5 as well, where you'd see a house that had foundation problems and sided to a railroad track and had mold in the basement and dead bodies in the corners, and it would sell for 1% more than the beautiful house that had sold 30 days before. It didn't matter. If it was 4 walls and a roof, it was going to sell more than the previous house. That's the market we've been in.
That's where we were.
That's absolutely where we were when, and it the showing behavior reflected that you'd go to show a property to a buyer and there's one house to show them.
Oh yeah. We're not long removed from the times where a property hit the market and we're scrambling to get our client in that front door before the seller accepted an offer and it was gone, right?
That's right. That's right.
And it was literally onesie, twosie showings. I think go out in the morning, you'd show one property because that was the window that you could get in to see it, right? And then you take that same client out in the afternoon because a new listing had come on the market at lunchtime or something along those lines. And so you're back out there, doing that. Now what we're seeing is, I was able to take clients out and get 6 showings set up back to back to back to back. So it's like back to the traditional days of, okay, we're going to go see some properties and we're going to be able to select the one that you want in comparison to the ones that we see at the same time. So there's definitely an adjustment in the market. Shift keeps getting thrown out there a lot, but I think that's a loaded word and is not necessarily accurate for what we're seeing.
Well, and you know, if I describe a shift as any change in the market conditions that cause the need for a change in marketing activities, right? And that's certainly the case, right? But it's about degree.
Right. Absolutely. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. And I mean, we saw a shift in May of 2020, right? COVID. It changed how we did business profoundly. It shifted everybody's way of doing business, buying, selling real estate, right? And when we take a look at the raw numbers, because numbers, gang, don't lie. They don't lie. Numbers don't lie, right? The numbers are, we've seen a pretty significant increase in inventory, but that increase in inventory is because we're seeing houses going under contract more slowly, right? Not because we're seeing more listings coming to the market. So there's not a big sell-off. Now we are seeing in some communities that you go to Boise, Idaho, right, where they've seen a 200 and what % appreciation not year over year, but over the past 10 years.
253% appreciation over the last 10.
253 over 10 years. That's 25% a year. Yeah, that feels to me like a bubble. But if we take a look at our appreciation over the past 10 years, it's been a total of about 91%. So that's an annual appreciation of 9.1 if we just average it, right? High years, low years. And if you take a look at the overall trend line of a 50-year trend of 4% appreciation year over year, that's higher than that 4%. But we only just caught up with the losses of the Great Recession. So how I feel about this market, you know, when you're running to the airport, you're running behind, or even if you're not running, because I don't run for airports, there's for planes, there's 2 things I don't do. That's one of them. But you're walking really fast on that moving walkway. And then when you get to the end and the voice starts saying, caution, you are approaching the end of moving walkway. If you don't lean back and shift your balance to your heels, what happens if you keep walking at exactly the same pace at the end of that walkway?
You're eating carpet.
Face plant, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean you're still not moving forward. It's just you lean back on your heels, you slow the pace significantly of your foot in the air, and then you step onto ground that isn't moving underneath you. That's exactly the moment that we're in right now.
And that's, I think, specific to Denver market, like Denver metro area, right? Because other places are getting hit, and it takes us right back to the real estate as a local business, right? You need a local expert that's representing you, one that's keeping up with the market, what's happening in it, and 2, to be able to guide you and bring in some of these new marketing techniques and tactics that are needed in this adjusting market that's there. But, you know, Rox, we're seeing in the Denver metro area, before we were less than 1 month supply of inventory. Like I think at our peaks, so I remember months where we were at like 0.2 or 0.3 months supply of inventory. So
0.2, yeah, half a month.
Weeks of inventory that's there. So we've seen some listings come on the market. We've seen them stick around a little bit longer. But the reality is we've gone from that 0.2 at the low and we're at 1.1%.
And what's a balanced market?
6 months worth of inventory. So we're like 19,000 units short of getting close to, you know, that balanced portion.
Where it doesn't weigh heavily in either direction, buyer or sellers, right?
Right.
And that's important. And it almost, and this is not going to be popular at all. So realtors, you can turn this off now, right? If you don't need to sell right now, give us a call and we'll come up with a timing strategy and tell you when you should be selling, right? This pause, this end of the escalator, which could be a month, right? I use the example, Keith, how many people have come to you this week and told you how concerned they were about the Ukraine?
I haven't heard Ukraine in a long time. No.
Right. Has the situation there changed at all? One
Nope.
iota?
They're still
Right.
fighting over there.
They're still fighting over there. It's still impacting fuel prices. It's still the scariest thing since World War II. Nothing has changed and nobody's talking about it anymore. Right now, we are in that, if we use this analogy, that first 3 weeks after the invasion where everybody is like, ah! Right? And so take a big breath, take a deep pause. Unless you're moving, you need to move this very instant. Give us a call. We can come up with, first of all, calm you down because this is not the end of the world. This is actually a good thing, and we can explain why. Come up with the timing strategy that works. But either way, you need somebody who knows how to read data, analyze it, explain it, and then come up with a marketing plan appropriate to it. And we are usually very reluctant to say anything but showing, shining praises of other people in our industry. But we've got an inexperienced workforce right now at a time where you need experience. It matters.
It definitely does matter. I mean, it's a bit of a change. There's an adjustment that's there, and there needs to be an adjustment in how, or the advice that we're giving to our clients, right? But if you don't have the knowledge or experience and expertise in order to be able to provide that, I don't know where they're getting it.
That's right. All right, you. That's what we got.
All right. We'll see you next time.